And here we go. We've got folks coming in, everybody. Ready? Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Hi, Amy. So good to see you. Thanks for coming. Welcome, welcome. This is wonderful. We have other people who are just coming in. This is so great fun to see people here. And let me double check that we are recording. Uh, yep, we are recording. Okay, terrific. Okay, we are bringing in more people. Katie's going to join us. Wonderful. We have more people, and Devin's joining us. Oh, this is so fun. Great to have you all here. Hi, Donna. Great to have you here. Wonderful to see so many people joining. Devin, thanks for coming. Elizabeth, Katie, so glad you're here. Tony, I'm so excited you're here. I can't wait for you to come visit Seattle too. All right, we'll just give folks just another minute and then we will get started. We are recording, everyone, just to be aware. All right, great. Oh, this is so exciting. Wonderful. And I've got Olga and Sarah here from Guatemala who are going to be able to answer questions as well. And great, we have Sky coming in, and we'll give it just about another second, and then we'll get started. Okay, wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone. I am so thrilled you're here. This is just absolutely fantastic. And thank you so much for your interest in learning more about our Guatemala Women Leaders Immersion that's happening this October, October 24th through 31st. We are so excited to talk to you about this trip. This is absolutely a one of a kind. You cannot replicate this journey anywhere else. We have a couple of local folks who are going to be our guides along with me during this immersion. Both Sarah and Olga are currently sitting in Guatemala right now, and they'll be able to answer questions after I do a very brief presentation, just to give you a sense of what you might expect should you be one of the lucky 12 that get to come with us on this trip. And you heard it. Only 12 women are going to be able to go. Everybody else, you're going to have to come the next time. But we really hope that this time you might consider joining us. This is going to be phenomenal. I was just there in January. So let me just tell you, first of all, why we even designed this for women. We typically do immersions for mixed groups, men and women, or graduate students. But this particular one, we said we really wanted to focus on women leaders of any kind. This could be a woman leader of a Fortune 100 company, all the way to a woman who is running a book club. So this is anyone who's just feeling, frankly, need a reset, some kind of an adventure. Maybe you're just exhausted or burned out. Maybe you're desiring to be part of a community of women who not only care about you, but also care about where you're going in life, what you're up to. So, to that end, I am thrilled to welcome you to the Guatemala Women Leaders Immersion experience happening this October. I will tell you that our past sojourners on other trips that I've done, that we have done, have said our experiences are life-changing. People leave energized and engaged. Our participants feel refocused on who they are and what matters to them. And they have a plan of what's next when they come back, as well as a Rolodex of contacts and photos. You know, all of you in that group of 12 become your own magical group that is willing and able to go to the next space with one another. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about where it is. So, Guatemala, in case you were unfamiliar, is just adjacent to Mexico. It's in Central America, adjacent to El Salvador, where I used to live, and Honduras and Belize. As you all know, Spanish is the working language, but you will be very comfortable in English as we are going to be having translators. And for those of you who are wanting to learn Spanish, the great idea is that you're going to get to learn some words while we're there. So, not very far. This is a very straightforward flight. One of the reasons why we like Guatemala, it's not hard to get to. There are many direct flights from various parts of the country that will take you straight into Guatemala City, where we will begin our amazing 8-day journey. So, what is this? Well, it's a living classroom. What you're seeing is a view that you will see and experience and walk on those very cobblestone streets right as you're looking at that during this experience. I think it's important to highlight that this is not a retreat, this is not a conference. This is an immersion experience into what we call a living classroom. It's a living ecosystem of cultures, of peoples, of histories, of backgrounds. And it's a week that's designed to truly interrupt what's going on, to give you a space, sort of that what we call liminal space between regular life and new experiences, something that you cannot get when you're in your regular day to day. Sometimes we have to pull ourselves out in order to see ourselves, right? So it's just long enough to allow those things to shift. You are going to be meeting amazing, phenomenal local Guatemalan women who are leading with vision and courage. I want to just share a very quick story with you. Sarah and I, when I was there in January, we went deep, deep, deep outside of a town called Quetzaltenango, which is locally called Shela. Way beyond that, about over 9,000 feet. We're up at this local lake, nowhere on a GPS. You are not going to find this if you just Google, tell me where this lake is. We were this elder woman, Mayan elder, part of a particular Mayan indigenous community, who brought us down these wooden steps that you're going to experience to this private sacred lake to the Mayan people to have a ceremony with us. And I will tell you, I walked into this thinking, okay, I need to really understand what's happening for my group when I lead them here. Well, about an, I don't know, hour into it, I realized that all of my head had stepped away and I was fully engaged and immersed in this experience, almost despite myself. And I walked away from that experience with a completely new outlook of what I was doing there. And this is somebody who has traveled and lived and worked in over 60 countries. And I had this experience that you are going to have on this trip. You're going to be engaging with local change makers who are strengthening their communities, meeting local women, nationally ranked, locally understood, who are making profound differences in ways that will inspire you and give you ideas as well as context for the future, and really discover what emerges when you stop performing and start being present. So, what happens in these kinds of immersions versus a quote traditional conference? So, some people say to me, "Well, I went to a retreat," or "Well, my company has a organizational experience that we do." That's great. And they can be very intellectual and they can be very abstract and they're going to teach you different concepts. And they're often in hotel ballrooms with the little coffee station and it's a Marriott or a Hilton and they've got the cyber dashboards up. And you might return kind of refreshed, but basically the same, right? What happens when you walk on that cobblestone street that I just showed you? What happens when those profound shifts as a leader, as a human, as a woman, when you suddenly put yourself in a completely different environment with different conversations, with coaching every single day, with a time to pause and think, where you can feel the emotions that are going around you, where you fundamentally recalibrate and adapt. That's what happens on an immersion program. It's a profound shift you cannot get as long as you stay where you are. So that's why Guatemala is an ultimate mirror. It's an ultimate spot to examine your vision that's relatively close and really take a look at your own courage and your own power as you're moving forward to make decisions that you want to make, right? You're not just sitting in a circle. You are going to be engaged in local conversation at local cafes and local offices, in local remote environments like that lake I talked about, talking to Guatemalan women that are leading with vision and engaging with those local change makers, innovators, and dream makers. I will be forward leaning here. This environment is not for the faint of heart. We are going to be on cobblestone streets. We're going to be hiking. We're going to be on rough terrain. We're going to be up at a high altitude in Guatemala, over 9,500 feet at times. Our temperatures are going to vary. This is not a beach vacation, right? This is a time when you are immersed. You're going to be wearing a jacket on the crisp mornings when we walk through the plaza and go down to that little cafe that was started years ago that Sarah introduced me to. And other times you're going to be sitting out in the sun and it's going to be 75 degrees at our, yes, hacienda that we've reserved in Antigua for you to enjoy yoga in the morning. So it's not an extreme trip, but you do need to have a mobility to manage some of those. And we can talk about that offline if you have any questions. So this is a deliberate disruption, as I mentioned. You're going to be going from your daily environment and that churn and the autopilot and those unconscious assumptions, moving through this living classroom where it is a different cultural rhythm into expansion, fresh clarity and adaptability, and a profound, deepened emotional intelligence. It's hard to describe, my friends, what you experience when you're in these kinds of environments with a group of women in particular, who all of you are open to this possibility of real shifts and what shows up. So what is it like for these immersion experience? Today, I'm going to strongly encourage you to just put down your deposit because there is a 60-day women's leadership circle just for this group that's going to be starting soon. This is a bi-weekly virtual from your desk time where you're going to be able to not only get to know the other women that are going to be traveling with you, your other sojourn partners, but you're also going to be engaged in an exercise of conversation, of already talking about what's on your mind, already sharing, gosh, this is what I'm struggling with. Anybody have any ideas? Anybody know of someone that can help me with this particular issue? Or, you know what, I not only can't get along with my boss, but my child is as a teenager, or they've just left home, or they're small and I'm pulling my hair out. Community of women, can you walk me through this? And you'll be facilitated by myself and the other members of the Servant Edge team. Then we have our immersion experience. And by the time you get there and you see each other and we pick you up from the airport, and we're going to talk about that just a moment, and we take you to our first hotel that night, in your suite, by the way, where we're going to pour you something delicious to drink that's fruity and yummy. And you're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm here with my new best friends. And then afterwards, we have an entire post-immersion program. So this is where we're going to be talking with you about how to integrate what just happened and how are you going to move forward with what just showed up for you. So this isn't just those 8 days, my friends. This is an entire experience and engagement that we're so excited to welcome you on. So who are your guiding leaders? Well, myself, I have been doing these immersion programs since the mid 90s. That makes me certifiably old. I can assure you that this is something I've walked with people in Zimbabwe, in Egypt, in Honduras, in El Salvador, Panama, Chile, all over the world. You also have Sarah Barker, who is on this call. She has been living in Guatemala for the last 20 years. She's an expert in peace building, community leadership, and indigenous issues. And then, of course, Olga Lorenzano. She is Guatemalan and one of the most beautiful, engaging women that you will ever meet, who are going to be walking with you on this journey. So, what is it? What exactly should you be expecting on this? So, our philosophy at the Servant Edge is no friction. You get on the plane, we can even help you with buying plane tickets. The moment you land, we will be at the airport to take you to your first destination, and everything's included. You do not need, unless you would like to have a personal item, or alcohol is not included on this trip, and your personal items, but everything else is everything. From all of your meals, all of your lodging, all of your excursions, all of your transportation, all of your guides, all of the group coaching, all of the opportunities for yoga and engagement with all the different kinds of activities you're going to be doing, all of that. We do not want you to have to be thinking, oh gosh, was that lunch included? Or wait, am I on my own for this? I forgot. No, you are taken care of from the moment you get off the plane until you get back on that plane with this amazing group of women memories walking with you and head back home. Again, as I noted, elevation is high, so we're going to give you a whole detailed list 2 or 3 months before you go of the kinds of things you're going to want to pack to make sure that you feel fully prepared. And of course, we are always here to answer questions. So, what is the investment? We are intentionally priced below market average for something like this. You are welcome to do the comparisons because we value you and we want to make this as accessible as possible. Right now, what you're seeing are the early bird pricing. If you book by April 15th, we are knocking off $500 for this all-inclusive pricing. That shared room experience is basically either having one at max two roommates, but usually just one, or a private room experience means that you are in your own space for the entire duration of this experience. We can assure you that most of your time is going to be spent either in the little nooks and cafes and corners that we'll have at the various places where we'll be staying, but also you'll have your own space too if you prefer. So this is something you want to jump on because this pricing ends on April 15th and bumps up another $500, which is what we need to pay our various folks who are supporting us on this journey. So, our question for you is if you are ready to take and really look at your own alignment of what you're about, where you want to go, and what's going on for you. If you're ready for that kind of disruption that can happen when you're taken into a completely different environment, if you want people with you to support you and coach you on what that vision for success is in this community, I cannot encourage you enough. You will not find this experience anywhere else. We are the only organization, only one that has the kind of local contacts, the kind of experience we do, and integrates group coaching into these kinds of experiences. They are one of a kind. I can assure you of that. I have done a lot of research and study on this over the years. So there's a sign for A La Laguna Chicabal. This is that special lake that I mentioned. You won't find this on the tourist maps, I can assure you. This is where you will be standing and looking at this sign when you sign up. So I thank you so much for seeing this beautiful presentation. I'm going to pause and quickly introduce, if I could ask Sarah and Olga to come off mute for me. And just briefly, Sarah, if I could start with you and just say a quick hello to the group here so that people can hear your voice. And then Olga, I'll turn it over to you for a quick hello as well. So Sarah, if you want to come off mute and say a quick hello.
Sure. Hi. It's nice to meet everybody. I'm Sarah. I currently live outside of Antigua, Guatemala. Like Stephanie said, I've been in and out of the country for the past 20 years. I started here as a Peace Corps volunteer. So I'm really excited. We're really excited to build this experience and share it with you. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Sarah. Olga?
Hi everyone, it's great to have you here. Well, I think Stephanie shared enough information about me already, but I have to say that I do live in Shela, which is one of the places that we will be visiting during this immersion week. And well, I'm really excited about all this experience, and I'm sure you will find value in it. So I'm looking forward for this to happen already.
Wonderful. Thank you, Olga. We're so excited to meet you as well. So let me open up the floor to questions, my trusted dear friends on this call. What questions might you have about this experience, or what can I help you to see that this is something that you cannot miss this October? Please raise your hand because I can't quite see everybody. Such a great group that we have here today. Any questions? Yeah, Tony.
Thanks. Good to see you, Stephanie, and nice to see all of you other ladies. I'm curious if you anticipate that people would have an idea of like the shift they're trying to make already, if they need to have a entrepreneurial idea or a new job they're looking for, or what, to start with. Is that something that's going to be explored in like those 60-day priors, or like what more should I know about what it is that we would be doing other than visiting these wonderful places?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Tony, for that great question. So it varies by the individual, of course. Some women come to these kinds of experiences because they just frankly need a break, because they haven't had a chance to step away from, if you will, daily life, have a supportive group of people around them that will very intentionally work with her on whatever's showing up. I find that a lot of times when we're in conversation with someone, and particularly as an executive coach, we've got some other coaches on this call, I know, when you're talking with someone, sometimes people will say, I'm not even sure what's going on because I haven't had a chance to think about what's going on. It might be a job shift. It might just simply be exhaustion. It might be something's going on at work and you just can't quite put your finger on it. It might be just burnout. It might be a malaise. It might be just, I need to shake things up a little bit. I need to step back. It could be a variety of factors. And a lot of times it's not just one thing, right? A lot of times when we start talking with the community of women that would be on this kind of an experience, we often find as we listen to others that we start nodding and say, I so get what you just said, right? Sometimes it's a relationship shift, good or bad, a marriage or divorce, a breakup or a new experience that's going on. Whatever it is, it's often not a single thing. And that's the beauty of these kinds of experiences, is that particularly as we began what we call the pre-leadership women's circle prior to departure, one of the things we do is we start out with just an introduction to what we can expect during the group coaching part of the immersion experience. And we open it up. We'll do a one-on-one coaching with you, just to also, what do you want to get out of this experience? What are you particularly looking for? What's showing up for you these days? What's drawing you to this, right? For some women, they might come because, well, I don't want to just be a tourist. And I frankly am not a yoga person. I might do yoga, but I don't want a whole yoga retreat, right? So I want something with intention, but I also just kind of want to be with a group of women that I can enjoy this time with. Fantastic. Fantastic. And that openness is what is brought to the table, right? So hopefully I've answered your question a little bit. It does absolutely vary, is the short answer. It's not that an expectation. It's truly a time to allow yourself to show up in whatever is showing up. Sky, great to see you.
Can you hear me now?
I absolutely can hear you.
I had to take me off mute. So you made the statement on this last slide that experiential leadership development. So what type of program or teachings or outlines are you going to be exploring with that?
Absolutely. So again, it's tailored to the particular group. We have a variety of offers that we do at the Servant Edge that we can incorporate in this, including assessments and other resources that we can integrate. Everything we do is experiential at the Servant Edge, which is to say, we understand the value of theory. I mean, a couple of us are these PhD geeky types. So we understand the value of theory and abstract work, but we don't really get something until we embody it, right? It's very much like I was that kid who mom told me, don't touch the stove. Don't touch the stove. What did I do? I touched the stove. Oh, got it. It's hot. She was right. Don't touch the stove. So in a funny way, that's a lot of what we mean by experiential. So some of those topics might be, how do you navigate conflict? Right? How do you have conversations? And that could be both at work or at home. How do you juggle the multiple generations that are in the room? How do you present. If you're asked to do something that's uncomfortable, for many people, public speaking is uncomfortable. How do you do this? How do you deal with struggle, right? How do you manage a situation at work where you're either having to ask for something for yourself, like a promotion, for example, or how do you advocate for yourself with your spouse, right? It can be on a variety of different levels and at different things. Again, we let the group inform us what is most needed. The series of topics that we commonly see are some of what I've just mentioned. Sometimes it's how do I leave a legacy? How do I redefine my identity? I just had a job shift, which many people have had that of recent or about to have. What's my new identity moving forward? How do I go from having kids at home to empty nesting? How do I hold space that I never had children? How do I hold a space that I'm now newly divorced or never married, right? How do I hold space that I really am struggling with work and I don't know why, and I need help just to unravel or disentangle what's going on and why I'm just feeling that malaise and burnout. So that's what we mean by experiential leadership development. I would like to open it up. Sam, who is the head of all of our learning design and experiential leadership development training at the Servant Edge. Sam, is there anything that you'd want to add to Sky's question?
Sure. Sky. I mean, we use a number of different frameworks, and in particular, the Servant Edge has a few different ones that are sort of proprietary to what we do. So, for example, looking at alignment and how we really establish and discuss some of that shared understanding of what's meaningful for us and what's happening in our contexts. And as well, looking at it through a systems lens as well, and thinking about all the different systems that we live and work and operate within, and how are those impacting what we do and where we are at the minute, and really surfacing what's actually happening beneath the surface, what's going on. So that understanding, that self-awareness, and then thinking about, okay, so what? What does this all mean? And what's the action that we're going to take to discuss some of this new insight so that then becomes more ingrained in our behaviors and actions, and how we absorb that, how we reflect and learn and sort of carry that forward. So we tailor everything that we do to the group and to your needs, which is why if you join the leadership circle as well before the immersion, we sort of surface a lot of the your needs and then make sure that we're tailoring not just that circle, but the whole immersion to what you want as a group and how that's going to help your transformation basically as well. Anything you want to add there, Stephanie?
That was beautiful. Sky, does that help a little bit to answer your question?
Well, it sounds like in a nutshell that you're helping people shift out of certain patterns so they can accomplish whatever their personal goals are. That's in a nutshell what I'm hearing. I use the word experiential in a class that I teach, but it's specifically focused on business development, growing a business, opening a business, and shifting careers into a business. So I just want to make sure I understood it. So it sounds like it's behavioral shifting, getting you out of patterns, getting out of your head, and then accomplishing whatever it is that the end goal for someone.
Yeah, I think that's fair. In the work that we do, and Sam was just alluding to this, um, we are we are a big believer based on our experience that if you really want to make shifts in your life, if you really wanting to go from here to there, the cognitive side of what's going on is important, but that's just not enough. There has to be an ability to get to the edge, hence the company's name, the Servant Edge, of whatever your comfort zone is. And we all have those moments. And then the support to help you pass that edge to get to what is new. That's not easy. A lot of us hit an edge and we go back, right? We have convictions and ideas and visions, and we hit the edge and we fall back. And so moving past that is a very powerful experience that requires expert facilitation, reflection, and often an event, some kind of a disruptor. And that's what this immersion experience can provide in a very safe, contained environment. Yeah. I want to also flag for everybody the registration link is in the chat. Again, the only thing you need to worry about right now is the deposit. It's a $500 deposit. That's it. We'll talk with you later about the balance of this, but to hold your spot and be one of the 12 that gets to go on this experience, that's all that is needed is that deposit. And the link is there. And again, this is early bird pricing that you're seeing right now. I don't want you folks in particular to miss this because it will have to go up after April 15th. So I would encourage you strongly. Seem to be working. Okay, Tony is flagging that the link doesn't seem to be working. That's not good. If I could ask Susan if you could take a look at that and see what's going on. Thank you, Tony, for
I
flagging.
was able to open the link for what it's worth, Stephanie. So,
Oh, you were Amy? Okay.
mhm.
Okay. Great. Maybe we can just drop it in again and refresh it. It worked on my screen. So let's see. I don't want anybody to have any trouble with the link. If you're having any trouble at all with the link, then please let us know, Tony. We can reach out to you separately too about this and make sure you're in. Um, yeah, because I don't want anybody to miss out on this opportunity. It's just too good. It's too good of an experience. I will tell you that the next time that we offer this, the prices will go up $1,000 because we are so underpriced right now on this particular trip because it's our first women's leadership program. And so we wanted to bring it down to make it very accessible, make it very available for folks, and also to walk through it again. Thank you, Susan, and make sure that you have a chance to participate in this. But yeah, in fact, Amy was just on. I was talking with her about a trip that she took to Italy. Was it, Amy? It was just last year, and I think it was almost double this price for even less than what you get for this. Yeah, and so this is a bargain, friends. Oh, Donna, please go ahead. Love to hear what you have to say. Donna is an amazing individual and woman, friends.
Thanks, Stephanie. I was just, I've shared this with some folks in my network who are interested, and I had a question come up, so I thought I would share it on their behalf,
Yeah.
since we don't have them on the call, but we can share the recorded call. And that was really around connectivity. So, what connection will they have? Is there an expected period that they might be out of pocket if they're dealing with aging parents or kids at home or things like that, where they need to stay in touch?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I will answer it briefly, and then Sarah and Olga, I'm going to turn it over to you two. So, speaking from very personal experience, so anytime I lead an immersion, I personally walk through the whole thing before I take a group of people. So I only found a challenge of cell phone service when I was up at that sacred lake that I just mentioned, that is deep in the mountains, up, up, up. And that lasted for about maybe 6 hours or so, maybe 5 hours. But let me pause there because it may have just been my service or something that was going on. Sarah, maybe I'll start with you. On our experience, and you know intimately what we're about to do, is there any moment that we should expect folks not being able to have regular connectivity?
Yes, when, like you said, when we're up at the Laguna, there will be very limited connectivity up there. But at the hotels and the hacienda and the places where we're kind of based, they should all have very good Wi-Fi. And then, if you have an international roaming plan or you get an eSIM locally, then you should have decent connectivity between hotels. But like maybe when we're on the road, there'll be, some dead spots, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, there are moments on the roads in just traveling that there might be moments. I can personally confirm that I was on
Hey
work phone
Jason, how are you?
calls and other calls to my kids.
Good. Can you just give me a second to
Devin, I think you are on, let me just get her on mute. Um, and so I can personally attest that I had excellent connectivity, except for, yeah, that's true. A couple of times on the roads, there might have been a dead zone and then up at the lake. But I was talking to folks back in the States throughout my time. So excellent question. And and also just on the note of connectivity, I'll also flag that part of our connectivity is in fact the connectivity with one another before and after this journey. Um, this is a really fantastic part of this immersion. Is this not just a flyby, have this amazing experience, and then we don't see each other again? This is an experience where you are creating a community of women that are from all over. Right. So all over the United States and Canada, principally. In the past, I will share with you that I've had participants from the UK, other parts of Europe, Japan. I think this experience will probably be mostly from North America. But what joy to have this group of women that will have gone through something with you, have gotten to know you in a way that we so infrequently know one another. And then you come back and that community is preserved, and we will continue that on after long after the trip. Other questions that I can help?
Stephanie, there's also a question in the chat asking about how the 12 attendees are selected. If we could
Oh,
share that process.
oh, excellent. Thank you for flagging the question. Great question. So when you are interested and you put down your deposit, I will get on a phone call with you. This personally, and this is very important because an element of having just 12 women who are traveling together is making sure that this is a group of 12 women that are open to the experience, that are ready for the experience. I have in the past even offered to participants, and I'll be fully forthright, it's generally men that I have to say this to, who maybe have a different agenda in mind, or they're looking for something different, right? They're looking for a trip where they want a luxurious hotel and they really don't want to leave the hotel. Yeah, this is not that trip. And that's okay, because even though we might do these information sessions and talk about it, some people forget and they think, oh, maybe this is just something I want to do. So the moment you put down a deposit, we have a conversation. And I'll be talking with you about what you're looking for, what this trip is in more detail, answer all of your questions one-on-one. And if we together think this is a great fit, then you will be invited in. So that deposit is your signal to me and to the team that, hey, I'm really serious about this. I see myself here. I get that this is a trip that I cannot replicate, that I'm going to be meeting women both locally in Guatemala as well as the folks with me that I can't do anywhere else. This matters, that this is important to me. And I want to know in more detail about it with you. So the moment you put down the deposit, we get on a phone call. And if we decide at the end of that call, gosh, this really isn't what you're looking for, wonderful. I will recommend to you other opportunities that are elsewhere. If we decide, oh gosh, you need to not only be on this trip, but we need to get you involved in all kinds of other ways, then we'll do that too. So that's how they're chosen. It's essentially a shared invitation. It's a shared invitation. Yeah. Other questions? I love these questions. This is beautiful. Okay. All right. Well, please reach out to me. The link again, it looks like it was just a firewall on Tony's side, so it looks like it's working for everybody. All it is a $500 deposit, and then it's a phone call with me, and we're going to talk about it and go into more detail about the trip. We can go through the itinerary. There's lots of information on the website. And if I could maybe ask Susan to drop in the website as well. But there's lots and lots of information there that you can get more details about some of the sites you're going to be seeing. I haven't talked about the food, which I will share with you is amazing. Oh, goodness. I mean, there's something about Latin food, Central American food. It's infused with the Guatemalan flavors, with Mexico and El Salvador all mixed in together with deliciousness. If you like fried plantains that are dipped in this really succulent sauce. And then there's just, oh my goodness, it's just so good. And then there's the places where you get, wait for it, Guatemalan coffee. Some of us may have had that at Starbucks or other places. And so you have this amazing coffee with these fresh baked goods in the morning with fruit and eggs. And again, everything's included. Everything's included. You're going to be trying local Guatemalan fare. You're going to be making handmade tortillas the way they do it in Guatemala, which is different than Mexico. You're going to have a chance to enjoy some frosty drinks there in the evening with your dinner. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful and delicious. But I can't leave you all without just getting your taste glands motivated there just for a second, because that is another part of this trip that is just truly magical. All right. Well, I encourage each and every one of you, put down that $500 deposit. Let's get on the phone call together. Don't miss this trip. Only 12 women can go. I want you to be the 12. Come talk with me, and I can't wait to see you. Thanks so much again, everybody, for coming, and enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Hope
Thank
to see you in
you.
October.